Listen to me carefully. If I had only one message, one lesson, one truth I could pass on to you, this would be: your life will never change until you decide to change yourself first, not your circumstances, not the people around you, not the economy, not luck. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for approval, waiting for the right time. But the truth is brutal. The right time never comes. Life rewards movement, not perfection. It rewards courage, not comfort. Everything in your life and then begins and ends with you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your friends, not your past, and not your circumstances. Until you fully accept personal responsibility for where you are right now, real change will always stay out of reach. Many people waste years blaming their environment, their upbringing, their lack of support, or bad luck, but blame keeps you powerless. The moment you decide that you are responsible for your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions, you take back control of your life. Change does not start when life becomes easier. It starts when you stop making excuses. You can't think your way into a better life while acting the same every day. If you keep the same habits, the same mindset, the same routines, and the same comfort zones, you will keep getting the same results. Want a different future? Then something about you must be different. Your discipline must change. Your standards must change. The way you speak to yourself must change. The way you spend your time must change. Most people want transformation without self-transformation. They want confidence without facing fear. They want success without sacrifice. They want growth without discomfort. But life doesn't work that way. You don't rise by wishing, you rise by becoming. And becoming requires hard, uncomfortable decisions that no one else can make for you. No motivational speech, no book, no mentor can do the work for you. They can inspire you, but you must move. When you decide to change yourself, you stop waiting for permission. You stop needing approval. You stop hoping someone else will fix things for you. You understand that every day you either build your future or delay it. Even the smallest changes, choosing discipline over excuses, focus over distraction, courage over fear, start to compound over time. At first, nothing seems different, but inside, something powerful is happening. You are becoming someone new. Real change begins the moment you look in the mirror and say, I will no longer live like this. Not tomorrow, not next month. No, because when you change the way you think, you change the way you act. When you change the way you act, you change the direction of your life. And that single decision to take ownership of yourself is where everything truly begins. One of the most dangerous lies people believe is that there will be a perfect moment to start. The perfect time when you feel confident, prepared, motivated, and fearless. That moment does not exist. Waiting for the right time feels responsible, but in reality, it is fear disguised as patience. It is procrastination wearing a polite mask. While you wait, time keeps moving, opportunities pass, and life continues without your permission. Most people delay their dreams because they want certainty before action. They want guarantees before effort. They want to know everything will work out before they begin. But life does not reward those who wait for certainty. It rewards those who move despite uncertainty. Growth has always belonged to the people who started before they were ready, who learned by doing, who adjusted along the way instead of standing still. The truth is, you will never feel fully prepared. Confidence is not something you find first. It is something you build after you take action. Clarity does not come from thinking, it comes from movement. Every step forward teaches you something new, but you have to take that step. When you keep waiting, you are not staying safe. You are slowly shrinking your potential. Waiting for the right time also creates a habit of delay. One excuse turns into another. Today becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next year. And suddenly you look back and realize years have passed and nothing has changed. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you kept telling yourself, I'll start when things are better. Things don't get better on their own. You make them better by acting. There will always be reasons not to start. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, lack of money, lack of support, lack of experience. If you wait for all those problems to disappear, you will wait forever. The people who succeed are not the ones with perfect conditions. They are the ones who refuse to let imperfect conditions stop them. They start messy. They start scared. They start unsure. And they grow stronger as they go. The real cost of waiting is not failure. It is regret. Failure teaches you. Regret haunts you. Every day you delay is a day you will never get back. The right time is not a moment in the future. It is a decision you make in the present. Overthinking feels productive, but most of the time it is just fear in disguise. You tell yourself you are analyzing, planning, or preparing, when in reality you are avoiding action. The mind can create endless scenarios, doubts, and what ifs, but none of them move your life forward. Thinking alone has never built confidence, success, or direction. Clarity comes after action, not before it. Many people believe they need to have everything figured out before they begin. They want a perfect plan, a clear vision, and guaranteed results. But life doesn't reveal itself that way. You understand the path by walking it. Each step forward teaches you what works and what doesn't. Without action, your mind stays stuck in confusion because it has no real experience to learn from. Action breaks fear. The longer you sit still, the bigger your fear grows. But the moment you move, even imperfectly, fear begins to lose its power. You realize that the thing you were afraid of is rarely as bad as your imagination made it. Momentum replaces doubt. Experience replaces hesitation. Confidence grows not because everything goes right, but because you learn you can handle things even when they go wrong. Overthinking keeps you trapped in your head. Action puts you back in control of your life. You don't need to know the entire journey. You only need to know the next step. Once you take that step, the next one becomes clear. This is how progress actually works. One decision, one action, one adjustment at a time. People who succeed are not the ones with the most brilliant ideas. They are the ones who act on ordinary ideas consistently. They don't wait to feel fearless. They act while feeling afraid. They don't wait for perfect confidence. They build confidence through repetition. Every action you take sharpens your understanding, strengthens your mindset, and reduces confusion. If you stay stuck thinking, you stay stuck living the same life. But when you act, even when you're unsure, your world begins to respond. Opportunities appear, lessons reveal themselves, and direction becomes clearer, not because you planned perfectly, but because you move forward. Every struggle you face has a purpose, even when it feels unfair, exhausting, or overwhelming. Most people see difficulties as signs that something is wrong, that they should quit or turn back. But in reality, a struggle is not a roadblock, it is the training ground. Life uses pressure to build strength, just like resistance builds muscle. Without struggle, there is no growth, no depth, no resilience. When things are easy, you don't learn much about yourself. It is in hard moments that your character is revealed. Struggles expose your habits, your mindset, your patience, and your discipline. They show you where you need to grow. Every challenge is asking something from you to become stronger, wiser, more focused, more emotionally controlled than you were before. Many people fail not because the struggle was too hard, but because they misunderstood it. They thought pain meant failure, when in fact pain was proof of progress. Growth often feels uncomfortable because you are being stretched beyond what you already know. If you quit every time things get hard, you stay the same. If you endure, adapt, and keep moving, you evolve. Struggles also build resilience. Each time you survive something difficult, you gain evidence that you are capable. You may not notice it immediately, but your tolerance for pressure increases. What once overwhelmed you becomes manageable. What once scared you becomes familiar. This is how confidence is truly built. not through comfort, but through overcoming. Life doesn't give the hardest battles to the weakest people. It shapes strength through repeated challenges. Every setback, every delay, every disappointment carries a lesson that prepares you for the next level. The struggle is not there to break you. It is there to refine you, to strip away weakness, to teach you how to stand firm even when everything feels uncertain. Pain is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. Most people see pain as a warning to stop, to retreat, to give up. But in reality, pain is often a signal that growth is happening. Just like muscles age when they are being strengthened, your mind, character, and discipline experience pain when they are being stretched beyond their comfort zone. If you avoid pain at all costs, you also avoid progress. There is no transformation without discomfort. Every meaningful change demands something from you. Time, effort, discipline, and emotional endurance. When you choose to improve your life, you are choosing temporary pain over long-term regret. The pain of discipline, sacrifice, and persistence is far less damaging than the pain of staying stuck, disappointed, and unfulfilled. Many people quit at the first sign of difficulty because they mistake discomfort for failure. They assume that if something hurts, it must be wrong. But most of the time, pain simply means you are doing something new, something challenging, something unfamiliar. Growth rarely feels good in the moment. It feels heavy, it feels tiring, it feels lonely, and yet those are the very moments that shape who you become. Pain also teaches awareness. It forces you to slow down, reflect, and understand yourself better. You learn your limits, your triggers, your weaknesses, and your strengths. You discover how much you can endure. Each time you push through pain instead of running from it, you develop mental toughness. You become less fragile and more resilient. If you quit every time it hurts, you train yourself to fear discomfort. But when you learn to sit with pain, to work through it, and to keep moving forward, despite it, you unlock a deeper level of strength. Pain is not your enemy. It is a temporary companion on the path to becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than you were before. Most people misunderstand that. They see it discipline. They see it as limitation, punishment, or a loss of freedom. They believe discipline means living a strict, boring life where joy is sacrificed. But the truth is the exact opposite. Discipline is what creates real freedom. Without discipline, your life is controlled by impulses, emotions, and distractions. With discipline, you take back control of your time, your energy, and your direction. When you lack discipline, you are not free. You are reactive. You do what feels good in the moment and suffer later. You procrastinate, overindulge, avoid responsibility, and then feel stressed, guilty, and overwhelmed. That is not freedom, that is chaos. Discipline removes chaos. It creates structure, and structure creates peace. Knowing what you must do each day frees your mind from constant decision-making and self-doubt. Discipline also protects your future self. Every disciplined choice you make today, waking up early, working when you don't feel like it, saying no to distractions, staying consistent builds options for tomorrow. The more disciplined you are now, the more choices you will have later. Without discipline, your options shrink, your potential narrows, and your life becomes limited by consequences you could have avoided. People often wait to feel motivated before acting, but discipline does not depend on feelings. Feelings change. Discipline stays on the days you don't feel inspired. Discipline keeps you moving. It allows you to make progress even when motivation disappears. This consistency compounds over time, turning small efforts into powerful results. True freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. True freedom is being able to do what you need to do, even when it's hard. Discipline gives you that strength. It helps you build a life where your goals are not controlled by moods. Your future is not sabotaged by comfort, and your actions align with the person you want to become. Blaming circumstances is one of the easiest ways to stay stuck. It gives you a reason to do nothing while convincing yourself it's not your fault. You blame your past, your upbringing, your finances, your location, the people around you, or the lack of opportunities. And while some of these challenges are real, using them as excuses hands over your power. The moment you blame something outside of yourself, you give up control over your future. Taking responsibility does not mean pretending life has been fair. It means accepting that regardless of what happened to you, you are still responsible for what you do next. You cannot change where you came from, but you can change where you are going. Responsibility shifts your focus from what you can't control to what you can. And that shift alone can transform your life. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for conditions to improve. You stop waiting for people to change. You stop waiting for permission. You realize that even in imperfect situations, there is always something you can do, something you can learn, improve, or attempt. This responsibility creates movement, and movement creates momentum. Blame keeps you emotionally comfortable, but mentally weak. Responsibility is uncomfortable because it forces you to face your own habits, choices, and patterns. It asks hard questions. What am I avoiding? What am I tolerating? What am I doing that's keeping me here? These questions are not easy, but they are necessary for growth. People who take responsibility grow faster because they learn faster. They don't waste energy complaining. They invest energy adjusting. If something doesn't work, they don't collapse into excuses. They adapt. Over time, this mindset builds confidence, resilience, and self-respect. You begin to trust yourself because you know you will handle whatever comes next instead of looking for someone else to fix it. For many people, the quiet hope that someone will eventually step in and fix things is what keeps them. They wait for a mentor, a partner, a breakthrough, a lucky opportunity, or a moment when everything suddenly falls into place. This belief feels comforting, but it quietly delays growth. When you accept that no one is coming to rescue you, something powerful happens. You stop waiting and start acting. This realization is not meant to make you feel alone. It is meant to make you strong. The moment you understand that your life is your responsibility, you reclaim your power. You no longer depend on validation, approval, or external rescue. You realize that even if support never arrives, you still have the ability to move forward. That understanding builds independence, confidence, and inner strength. Waiting to be saved keeps you passive. It trains you to look outward instead of inward. But when you accept that you must save yourself, you become proactive. You start asking better questions. What can I do right now? What skill can I build? What habit can I change? What step can I take today? These questions lead to progress because they focus on action, not hope alone. This mindset also removes excuses. When there is no imaginary rescuer, there is no one left to blame. You stop expecting others to understand your struggle or carry your burden. Instead, you rise to meet it. You become more resourceful, more resilient, and more disciplined because you know the responsibility is yours. The strongest people are not those who had everything handed to them. They are those who learn to stand up for themselves when no help arrived. Accepting that no one is coming does not weaken you. It sharpens. It forces you to develop the strength, courage, and self-belief required to build the life you want on your own terms. Too many people look at life as if they are supporting characters in someone else's story, waiting for the world to notice them, waiting for someone else to hand them success, waiting for circumstances to align perfectly. But here's the truth: you are the main character. Your life is your story, and you are the hero, the protagonist, and the one responsible for shaping how the plot unfolds. No one else will write your chapters, make your choices, or face your battles for you. Being the hero means taking full ownership of your journey. It means understanding that the challenges you face are not obstacles to keep you down, but trials meant to develop your strength, wisdom, and resilience. Every hero in history faced doubt, criticism, and pain, but they persisted anyway. The difference between them and everyone else is that they stepped into their role, embraced responsibility, and refused to let circumstances define them. Heroes don't wait for validation. They create it through their actions. They don't wait for confidence. They build it by facing fear repeatedly. They don't wait for permission. They take initiative and make decisions even when the outcome is uncertain. Recognizing yourself as the hero empowers you to act, even when life seems unfair or unpredictable. Being the hero also means understanding that your story is unique. No one else has your combination of experiences, talents, and potential. You cannot copy someone else's journey and expect it to work. You must chart your own path. This perspective transforms every setback into a lesson, every failure into training, and every moment of struggle into a step toward greatness. Heroes are defined not by perfection, but by persistence. They continue moving forward, learning and growing, even when progress is slow or invisible. By embracing your role as the hero, you stop waiting for rescue, excuses, or external approval. You start living intentionally, making decisions aligned with your goals, and creating a life that reflects your potential rather than your fears. Most people underestimate the power of small actions. They believe that only grand gestures, major breakthroughs, or dramatic changes lead to success. But in reality, life is built on tiny, consistent steps taken every single day. The habits you form, how you spend your time, what you focus on, how you treat yourself and others, compound over months and years, creating outcomes far beyond what you can see in the moment. Think of habits like seeds. Plant a seed today, water it consistently, and in time it grows into a tree. Ignore it, neglect it, or water it inconsistently, and it never reaches its potential. Your daily routines are the same. Every decision, no matter how small, contributes either to building the life you want or keeping you stuck. Choosing discipline over comfort once might seem insignificant, but repeating the choice daily changes the trajectory of your entire future. Consistency matters more than intensity. Many people burn out by trying to do too much at once or expecting immediate results. The truth is, massive success is rarely sudden. It is the result of small, intentional actions repeated without fail. Reading a few pages of a book every day, dedicating 15 minutes to skill building, showing up even when you don't feel like it. These small acts are invisible in the short term, but transformational in the long term. Habits also shape your identity. The actions you repeat daily tell your brain who you are. If you consistently avoid work, procrastinate, and take shortcuts, your mind labels you as someone incapable of discipline. But if you consistently show up, push through discomfort, and invest in yourself, your mind begins to see you as capable, resilient, and focused. Over time, this identity drives your actions more than sheer willpower ever could. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start with one small habit, master it, then add another. Build momentum. Over time, these small habits compound like interest in a bank account. What feels insignificant today becomes extraordinary tomorrow. This is the secret. The most successful people understand greatness is rarely a single act. It is the accumulation of tiny, consistent choices made over time. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it happens quickly and visibly. People imagine sudden breakthroughs, viral moments, or overnight transformations. In reality, the journey to success is almost always quiet, unseen, and often misunderstood. The work you do when no one is watching, when the world isn't applauding, when results haven't yet appeared, is what truly builds lasting achievement. This is why patience and persistence are critical. You may study, practice, and push yourself daily without any external validation. You may face doubt, criticism, or lack of recognition. But this invisible effort is where growth happens. It is where skills are honed, resilience is developed, and habits are solidified. Success is not glamorous in the beginning. It is lonely, repetitive, and often boring. Many people quit during this silent phase because they cannot see immediate results. They compare themselves to others who are already visible, already recognized, and already celebrated. But comparison is dangerous because you never see the hours, effort, and struggles behind someone else's success. You only see the highlight reel. Realizing that growth is mostly hidden allows you to focus on your own work without distraction or discouragement. The quiet effort also builds character. When no one is watching, you learn discipline, patience, and integrity. You learn to work for your goals because you believe in them, not because you are seeking praise. This inner strength is far more valuable than external recognition because it ensures that your success is sustainable and authentic. Success built in silence eventually becomes visible, but when it does, it is usually far stronger than if it had been rushed or done for show. The quiet work creates depth, foundation, and resilience. People who achieve greatness understand this principle. The most important battles are fought and won before the world ever knows they exist. So remember this: life will not hand you success, comfort, or clarity on a silver platter. Your growth, your future, and your happiness depend entirely on the choices you make today. Change yourself. Stop waiting for the right time. Take action even when you feel unsure. And embrace struggles and pain as teachers, not enemies. Build discipline, take responsibility, and realize that no one is coming to save you. You are the hero of your story, and the small, consistent habits you form now will determine your long-term results. Do the work in silence. Keep going when no one is watching. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and never ever give up. Your future is not a matter of luck. It is a reflection of the decisions, courage, and persistence you choose to show every single day. This is my greatest advice to you. Own your life, embrace the struggle, and move forward relentlessly, because the only person who can truly change your life is you.